Hi, gun people. Well, this started out as a Utah incident with this man, Craig, here. This happened in 2018. If you want to go watch this full video, you can find it here and search this link. At first, I was pissed off at the Utah cops by the way they handled this, and they kind of escalated it. The short of the story is a couple of service workers showed up, went in this guy's backyard. They called the cops. This guy showed up, kind of a little bit of a jerk at first, ended up being a pretty good guy. They make contact with Craig through the door. This is a female's gun. She's got her gun out. She's escalating. She was a pain in the ass the whole time trying to escalate shit. That's her. I thought they were going to shoot this guy in this video. It's a long video, but it kind of shows how the cops are getting information. They get him out of the house. They get access to the house. This guy did some things right, a lot of things wrong. But this incident ended up being to where all the cops were pretty cool. They didn't arrest him. He went out back with a gun and said, "Get off my property," to those two workers. They said he flagged them and was angry. He said, "Hey, they knocked on my door. Before I could get to my door, my back gate was open, and I see two people in the backyard. I walked out with a gun." The cops were total anti-Constitution, saying this ain't Texas. You can't use a gun. This is just synopsis if you want to go watch it. So finally they end up talking to the guy. He fills out a statement. Then they become friends. He shows this little sled that he made with Rosebud on it. If anybody remembers Citizen Kane, he made the sled from the movie. So they end up being kind of friends. Everything's cool. They shake each other's hands at the end.
I was just gonna say, there's the...
So this happens 2018, and now fast forward to this incident, to where this guy was posting shit like this, which I agree, Biden is an idiot, and he is destroying America. But the FBI ends up killing this guy in 2021, if you want to go watch that. And of course they have some FBI agent on here giving a bullshit story about why he was killed and why this is important. It sounds like to me, if you watch all this, the FBI, he posted that shit on Facebook. The FBI did an investigation. They contacted him. He kind of confirmed who he was, and he wrote the statements. He said he had a dream about those statements, which doesn't mean that they were valid. So the FBI says, well, this guy's crazy. He's got guns. We really can't arrest him for the threats, but we can run an investigation on the threats. We can get a search warrant, and then when we go get a search warrant and try to enter his house, this guy's going to resist and we're going to kill him. That's basically in a nutshell what happened. They came to his house to serve a search warrant. The search warrant was probably issued on the fact that, hey, we had threats against the president. The president's coming to town. We need to go in there and seize evidence about the threats off the computer so we can charge him. So he wasn't convicted of a crime. Really wasn't even arrested. They could have arrested him when they talked to him in the driveway, but they didn't. They went and got a search warrant, came back knowing that this guy would resist. He did resist, and they end up killing him.
Trying to serve a warrant on the home of Craig Robertson over in Provo, which is south of Salt Lake City, Utah. Online Monday that he had heard Biden was coming to Utah and was planning to dig out a camouflage chute and, quote, clean the dust off the M24 sniper rifle. Ken Gray is...
Okay, so, look, this guy, if you watch the Provo, where the Provo police contacted him, he's a 70-something years old. He's got a lot of guns. He grew up around guns. He's an American. He does things for his church. He builds those sleds to give away to friends. He doesn't even sell them. He's retired. Cops told him, you should get a security camera so you don't have to come out of your house with a gun. He's like, I'm retired. I don't have expendable income to be buying cameras. So this guy was a good dude in my book. And basically the government saw him as a threat. He wasn't going to take shit. He wanted to protect his rights. He was within the Constitution of free speech. And I get it. Somebody's going to come here. Free speech doesn't cover threats. Well, it used to. They've changed it. It used to be, it wasn't a big deal for threats. Unless you carried out the threat or did some act to move that threat, you could say what you wanted. But you can't do that now because government is getting more fearful of people because people are more fearful of government, and government sees the end is closing. And like all tyrannical governments, the first thing they want is to disarm the public, so they're the only one with the guns.
Is a former FBI agent and current New Haven. Thank you so much for taking
this guy's
the time
just
to
bullshit pushing the FBI.
So there are little details, learning more details from the media that this is Craig Robertson, a 75-year-old male who has made numerous posts on social media, making posts about threats against the president, the vice president, the attorney general, District Attorneys Alvin Bragg and District.
It sounds like he's making threats to everybody that's going after Trump. I'm surprised they didn't tie this, that he's a Trump person.
Attorney Letitia James. And so this is
you can't be going after Letitia. Oh, hell no.
Person who has made threats, and this is not a brand new piece of information. This is something that the Bureau had actually started an investigation on back in April of this year. And that.
So they had all the way in April to arrest this dude, and they never arrested him. Why? Because they gathered information. Government got together, got their SWAT team. They had numbers. They had surprise. Notice it's at night. So they gave all the scenarios that, you know what, this guy's going to resist. Let's just serve our sir. They could have easily talked to him like they did before when he went to the grocery store, when he went to church, when he checked his mail. They could have walked up and said, hey, guy, we know you got weapons in the house, and we're going to serve a search warrant. We don't want you to go back in the house. And they could have detained him and then went in the house, did their search, and left. No, Rick. This is what happened behind the scenes. This is when cops are talking. Look, this guy's crazy. He's going to react. All we got to do is go there at night. He's going to say, fuck you. When we try to gain entry, he's going to pull a gun. When he pulls a gun, that's going to authorize us to use deadly force, and we're going to be able to shoot this guy. So let's plan this warrant at the best time for us to be able to kill this guy. I guarantee you that you guys think I'm making this shit up and I'm conspiracy. I'm telling you, I was a cop for a long freaking time. I've been through many warrants. And shit like this is discussed. I'm not saying that's a violation. Sometimes it's a joke. Sometimes we crack about people. We joke when we go into the warrant. We joke before we get out. I wonder if this is the day that somebody's going to get shot. I wonder if this idiot's going to make us shoot him. But I guarantee you, they could have planned this warrant like government always could. Government gets to pick the time, the place, and how they do it. So when this goes to shit, government's never held accountable. It's always blamed, just like this little freaking flunky FBI agent's going to say later. This guy is a violent extremist. He's a violent extremist, domestic terrorist, I think is the words he used. Let's just call people bad names, and then government, when they go kill somebody, will look like government's the victim. They were just trying to protect people. Wasn't nobody protecting anybody but government protecting your power. All right? You can go watch these videos if you want. We'll end that there.